The New York Times is now reporting that the entire east wing of the White House is going to be torn down by this weekend, which is a pretty stunning thing, right? Trump had said this wasn't going to touch the White House. Now the entire east wing is going to be torn down by this weekend, according to the New York Times. I'll put up the picture because we've been showing a live camera of the actual demolition, and obviously it's a bit dark. But our photojournalist there is going to, be zooming in. We'll pull out a little bit if he can, just to see the proximity. Yep, here we go. Sorry, we're communicating here over earpiece. So you can see it right there next to the actual center of the White House itself. You are warning, Edward, that there could be a lot more surprises to come. I mean, this is a pretty big surprise. Not going to touch the White House and now demolishing the whole East Wing. What do you mean with more surprises?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to see more and more surprises down the road, both in terms of the impact on the executive mansion itself. It could go beyond the East Wing. It could affect the executive mansion building itself, the original 1800 building. But I think much more likely what we're going to see is a ballroom that's going to be even more ostentatious. And it's going to turn the executive mansion into an annex to the party space.
Now that was CNN. Good morning, pineapples. Looking very good and very nice. Now that was CNN this week. That was yesterday. The founders would have been disgusted, they said, by what was going on at the White House. Here's a clip from 15 years ago. Spoiler alert. Donald Trump was not the president 15 years ago. Who was the president 15 years ago? Here's a clip from CNN 15 years ago.
Another wing to the White House, but we appreciate you keeping your focus.
You can't even imagine, TJ. It's going to happen for the next 2 years. All of the banging, the jackhammering, the dust, the confusion, the noise of all places to do construction is happening right here, the front lawn of the White House.
The front lawn of the White House,
so cool.
Stephanie.
So exciting.
Wow, it's so exciting. Cost taxpayers $300 million.
Oh, it does say cost taxpayers. And CNN didn't say in their headline who was paying the bill for Trump.
Thank you, Stephanie, for noticing. Interesting.
Yeah.
Good morning, good morning.
Bill?
Good morning, good morning. We're glad that Cell Blocked, Heart of Erie, Booty Sweat, Joni Rankin, Jimmy Joe Patty are all here with us today.
There's someone named Booty Sweat?
Well, yeah, there is. Wanna
never
make
heard
your
of this
booty
person.
sweat, booty
Wow.
sweat. Freedom Family Friday on the Wake Up America show. I'm so excited. I'm so scared.
I'm just in my be cozy and really comfy and lazy kind of era right now. I just want to be inside and rest. That's how I'm feeling with all this weather. It's getting cold.
It is getting cold. I actually kind of like it. I don't want to go to a pumpkin patch this weekend and have to take off my jacket just because the sun is out. I really want to just enjoy my stinking pumpkin patch. A fall pumpkin patch.
Yes.
Mike America dance again. Good morning, good morning. We're going to talk about a headline that might just seem like it's about glamour, but it actually carries weightier implications. The White House is getting a ballroom, 90,000 square foot ballroom slated for the East Wing, funded by private donors, as you mentioned, Stephanie, and corporate giants. It's built under the banner of modernizing our national residence. Now, a lot of people say, oh, it's a ballroom, what's a big deal, right? But it does matter about culture, symbolism, and how we see America in 2025. Another story we're going to discuss today, I don't know if you saw the picture, you might get to see it for the first time here. I'll have to pull it up really quick. We were rushing before the show. But the French have dedicated another statue to the United States in honor of our 250th anniversary.
Oh, no, I didn't see this.
You didn't see?
No. I was reading your article about Hitler.
Oh, well, we're going to talk about that as well.
That's what I was spending my time doing. I had no time to do anything else.
Springtime for Hitler.
I just wonder, where do people dance now when they come to the White House? Where do they go when they have the galas?
Now, see, there's Stephanie, you're asking a real question. They've got so many beautiful venues around.
So there's nowhere to dance at the White House.
I'm guessing there probably is somewhere for them to dance at the White House, but they just make room somewhere, but it's not fitted for the purpose.
In the president's bedroom, I'm sure they dance in there.
During the Bill Clinton years, I'm sure they did, yes. So there's a lot of dancing going on.
Oh, yes.
So here it is. Here's the picture.
Oh, that's Atlas Shrugged.
That's correct. After months of hard work, this is what they've wrote. After months of hard work, we're proud to unveil the statue we'll build to honor the 250th anniversary of the United States. They call it the Guardian of Liberty. What you see here is just the scale model. The real one will be gigantic, the tallest statue in the West. So many people have offered to fund it, but the real challenge will be getting visas so we can build it on American soil. Finishing it in less than a year won't be easy, but as Napoleon once said, impossible is not French. Nice.
What is the ethnicity of these people in this photo?
The French people, the French.
Okay, they look Middle Eastern to me.
They do, but there's always been like that dark hair, that kind of like swarthy Frenchman. You know,
Okay.
there's you have to understand that like a lot of their ancestors were fishermen and.
Okay, I'm conspiracy theorizing in my head right
the
now.
weathermen come drink.
Because they want to get visas, so I'm like, what are they doing? Sending immigrants from the Middle East
Weren't
over
we
here?
just, you know what it is? It's the Trojan horse. Remember we were talking just the other day about
literally
the Trojan horse?
Only it's the Trojan Atlas Shrugged.
The Trojan
yes.
Guardian of Liberty. They're going to they're going to pack a bunch of Muslims into that
ball, that gigantic ball right there.
And then they're going to bring it into the United States, and then they're going to 9/11 our building, and they're going to call it Zoran Mondani 2.
I mean, that's hard to believe that, they're going to have all this trouble getting visas to construct this huge monument.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like they get a pass.
They'll probably get a pass. I would love to see it. Trump loves that kind of stuff. You want to build a huge statue. Yeah, you know what they need to do if they want to get those visas right away? Just make it look like Trump.
Yeah, or just take off the loincloth on that man and have it like Statue of David, right? That's how you can get the visa.
I don't think we don't need that much liberty.
It's a woman-run country, isn't it?
No, yes, you're right, Stephanie, which means they're going to cover it up. You couldn't have it. If this was a male-owned country, he'd have a big old giant.
Because it's so ugly. We don't want to see that.
Exactly.
No.
Cover yourself.
He's not circumcised.
Yes. So I wrote an article. It came out in Tablet Magazine. We were contacted by these people last week. They're like, Austin, thank you so much for speaking up and saying what you've been saying. They came out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. I'd heard of Tablet Magazine, but I wasn't extremely familiar with them. It's a New York magazine, essentially. It's a Jewish New Yorker magazine, and they reached out to me, and Alana Newhouse is the editor. I took her and her husband to write for the New York Times. Interesting couple.
And very successful couple.
Yeah, apparently some of the things that I've been saying, which I've been getting, throwing tomatoes at me for quite some time, have finally started to pierce through the veil of anger and catch on to some. So I went from the haters now to I found my lovers. They love me.
Yay!
Yeah, I kind of figured that I would find my people if I kept pushing through hard enough.
Your people?
Yeah.
What are they? The Jews?
No, not. I guess they are Jewish people. Yes. I was talking to Ian about his interview with me comes out.
He's Jewish
today. Yeah, he's Jewish. He was really curious. He wanted to go deeper, and the article had come out in Tablet Magazine. But it's just fascinating. We're kind of having this Nazi revival to some extent. Hitler's Back in Style is the title of the article. And it happens to coincide as well with this Democrat who's running for the U.S. Senate, who has been walking around for 18 years with a literal Nazi skull tattoo on his chest.
Really?
You haven't seen this story?
No.
Okay.
Again, I was reading your article.
I understand.
I haven't looked
this
at
one
anything.
it wasn't mentioned because we were talking. I was talking about a different group, and then this story actually broke like while I was like putting the finishing touches on this story.
Oh my goodness.
And a Democrat for U.S. Senate has been walking around for 18 years with a literal Nazi Totenkopf tattoo on his chest. He is a Bernie Sanders endorsed Marine and Army veteran. Graham Platner is his name. Let me pull it up.
So we just didn't know he had a tattoo. It was always covered?
He got it, he said, when he was drunk. He didn't know what it meant. But we don't.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. So here it is. You can see the tattoo. I'm pulling it up on the screen right now. Here is Graham Platner.
Well, he has two tattoos on his chest. Which one?
Yeah, well, the people, trust me, the people analyzed it here, right?
Okay.
So he's a left-wing populist lobster farmer from Maine. Might have torpedoed his campaign with the worst ink in politics. And I don't think, I was drunk in Croatia is going to be a good excuse for something like this. So,
oh, my.
yeah. So
Is Croatia anti-Semitic? I mean, I'm questioning
Yes.
the tattoo
The answer
artist
is-
here.
yeah.
Who would, in their right mind, make a tattoo like this?
What's the place? Name of a place that's not anti-Semitic. That's what I was saying with Ian. Was that it's like there's 2 billion Muslims in the world now, and they're all getting on the internet, and there's he said like 13 to 16 million Jews in the world. So the Jews are in for a world of pain. We'll talk about my brand new article in Tablet Magazine, Why Hitler's Back in Style this morning. I found a couple of other fun stories, like the Free State Project apparently had some ideas we had some problems with bear attacks. Did you hear this?
No, I had no idea about this. So I know about the Free State Project where everybody's moving to New Hampshire to get freedom.
Yes. So they had they said some bears where they were challenging. So if we have time, we'll get to that. That's the funny story, but we probably won't. So
Oh, bummer.
that's okay. We got more important things to talk about, like shall we dance?
You know what we need to do every day after the show? We need to give the audience homework. We need to give them readings, assigned readings that they do. So if we don't get to a certain news topic, then we can give them the article and say, this is your assigned reading for today. Read this article.
Literally no one would like
Write
us or
a
want to
book
be our
report,
friends.
Write a summary about what you read and bring it back to us and we'll grade it for you. AP's homeschool curriculum. There you go.
So Stephanie, tell us a little bit about your experience with like ballroom dancing. Would you say? Did you ever do swing dancing? I guess.
No.
Did you miss the swing dancing craze of the 1990s?
Yes.
You were out.
I
of
was
that,
not
huh?
part of it. The first school dance I ever went to was in middle school, and in middle school that was around 2001-ish. So that's when I started going to dances. I went to some bar mitzvahs though before that, and we definitely danced the Macarena. And I know Janet Jackson was really big back then. And I mean, I would be on the dance floor getting down. I can do the 90s dancing like this, or like the going underwater move.
In the 1990s, swing dancing experienced a resurgence. There was a band called the Cherry Poppin' Daddies. Who
Okay, I didn't know them.
They sang a song called Zoot Suit Riot.
Oh, that's so cute. Look at these old people. Oh my goodness.
Zoot Suit Riot was my karaoke song of choice for a number of years. Actually, a surprisingly challenging song to sing.
Wow.
Look at
You'll
these
have
two.
to sing it for
Look
me.
at these two. Let's hear it. See if we can.
They're so cute. They were probably so good when they were younger. Wow.
Get it, Grandma.
Oh my gosh, her little legs move so fast. Aww. Oh my god. Oh. I thought she was going to fall on the floor. Whoa. Grandpa's got some moves too. Look at that. They're so cute.
Oh my God, my dad would love this. I hope he tunes in today. Oh my God. Look at him go.
Most old people would not be able to do
No,
this.
they'd break their hip.
They would need a life alert necklace on the ground there.
That's
Oh my
good
goodness.
stuff, man. I love it.
Oh my god, they're so cute. I would love to take dance classes with you, but I know you've already taken all the dance classes, so really it would just be a class for me.
Yes. Brad Beckman was asking about the purchases that have been made so far this morning on the show. Quest, does it count even the show hasn't started? Absolutely. We count it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We know Quest Fanning
We
is
know.
watching the show.
Yeah, we know he wants to unlock the bonus content for
Yes.
everybody and that he stepped in and bought from the shop in order to support it. So, Brad, do us a favor, update the bonus content total at the top so everybody can see it because we are doing fantastic. And we're well on our way to unlocking our bonus content. The Wake Up America show is part of the For Liberty Network. I'm Austin Peterson. That's my wife, Stephanie. My brother, Justin, will be here at 8 a.m. Central Time this morning. So it's good. We call this Freedom Family Friday. If this is the first time you're watching us, we want a chance to earn your vote. And that vote is your time. It's 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Central. That's my show. We've got a few other shows tonight, 8 p.m. right here on this network you're watching. We do Freedom Arcade, where we hang out. We play party games with our chat.
Yeah.
You can be on the show, actually participate with us through the Discord at forlibertynetwork.com. But we also have Culturama and Liberty Tonight. So we got 4 shows on this network, and we have a confirmed new show, which is Cafecito Libre. Mylin Salavaria.
Wow.
She will touch Latin America. Reach out and touch. So we're going to hear from Justin at 8 a.m. Central this morning. We're just a cool group of kids who love freedom, and we talk about the news, and we make it fun, and we're building what we think is a healthy community, healthy, sane, rational community of freedom fighters who care about their country and want to make America great again. How's that sound?
Yay. I'm down with it.
Excellent. Well, you can support the show by doing more than just making a donation. You can make a Rumble Rant contribution, even of $1. And if you do, you're going to get an entry into our game show that we play at the end of the show every morning at 9 a.m. Anybody who makes any contribution of any amount during the live show, whether it's a purchase at the shop or whether it's a donation, you get an entry to the game, and everybody plays for real prizes, and everybody wins something from the shop. So it's a lot of fun. So one person can get an entry for $1 as a Rumble Rant donation. And then once we hit $100 raised, that unlocks the game mode. It unlocks our bonus content. So donating to the show is actually really fun because you actually are contributing to a pot where you're going to get a mini documentary, a 5-minute mini documentary that I produced, and you're going to get to play a really fun game for prizes at the end of the show. So that's why it's a great idea to just drop $1 in.
It's a win-win, honestly.
It is, because you're going to get something from the shop if you play the game at the end of the show. So why don't you drop $1 in a Rumble Rant? Or my recommendation, Stephanie's got a box of that Founding Flavors coffee sitting next to her. It looks delicious. That's my number one favorite.
Yes. And can I talk about something related to the Founding Fathers that I'm really proud of?
Do
new
it.
product we have.
Do it.
I was making a Founding Fathers blanket yesterday morning during your show. And I just dropped it right at the end of the show, so I think a lot of people didn't notice. But I made that pop art Founding Father fleece blanket. You've got the Constitution, a flintlock, and a feather pen. So it's a really cozy fleece blanket. It's definitely something that I would love to have during my cozy era.
Think about this, your cozy era. Think about this. Like, this would look great. Yeah, exactly. Sitting out on a bed as like a nice throw, especially got kids in the house. Pop art Founding Fathers fleece blanket. It comes in 2 sizes. Just do yourself a favor and get the big one. Don't regret it and get the 30 by 40 and think, oh, it's fine. I'll just save the money. It's a splurge. Get it. It's $50.99, but that's delivered to your front door. So shipping in the United States is free.
And that's 60 inches by 80 inches.
Yeah. So aren't we going to run a sale where you can get like a box of coffee or maybe a mug? Yeah.
A mug and blanket. Yep.
Yeah. So check
I'll
that out.
be sending out an email soon about that deal.
Yeah. So if you see the pop-up on the site where it says spin to win, and you can get a discount, definitely sign up for that, because that way you get our emails, which will sometimes have exclusive discounts and things.
And you made a new shirt too. Speaking of Founding Fathers,
I did.
We were
didn't
just
I?
in like a Founding Father mood.
Yeah,
I guess,
we were
yesterday.
we were feeling Founding Fatherish.
Yeah, we
yesterday,
were vibing
so.
with George Washington.
Yes. So it was a baseball shirt that I made. So hold on, the Department of Revolution, baseball.
I'm definitely a Founding Father person when it comes to what I wear and what I like to have. I don't know about you all in the chat. Let us know what kind of person you are in terms of what you like.
These are beautiful shirts. Department of Revolution, established 1776. I think like if
That's so cute.
It is, and it comes in a really like nice variety of colors.
Yeah. It's making a statement without being too naughty. It's like, hey, I love liberty, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like gouge your eyes out.
Well, it's also kind of a funny, ironic joke, because when would you ever establish a Department of Revolution? It's kind of like, So I made a cool picture of George Washington drinking a beer and wearing his Department of Revolution shirt. Laissez-faire Bra says, what are we playing tonight? Oh, that's great. We're going to play a really fun game of Guess That Phrase, emoji version.
Oh. Nice.
Yes. Ashley Ann says, anti-communist propaganda. Exactly.
Oh, yes. There is some good propaganda, They're not all bad.
As long as it's in service of the cause of liberty, you're in the right place. You're watching the Liberty Propaganda Channel,
That's right.
where we fight for your individual rights. And 76 other people who are watching us live in Rumble right now, probably all patriots and maybe one hater, because we usually get like one dislike every day. There's some person who they've either programmed a bot or they are really intensely disliking us, because what happens is as soon as the show comes up, they find the page and then they downvote it and they're just like...
Some of your enemies probably just make it a point to come on in there.
But imagine how pathetic they
put a
must
thumbs
be.
down.
All right, it makes me actually feel good that that's what my enemies are, because that person is wasting their life while we're building something beautiful, something new, something fresh. And making waves and making some people very uncomfortable. There's one person who their only mission in life is to click a dislike button, which doesn't change anything for us.
No.
It's not going to stop us. It's not going to slow us down. If anybody knows anything about me, but my haters give me life. I'm just like, I drink your milkshake from far away.
Well, there's some quote about if you don't have any haters, then you're like not making enough of a difference. Something about that.
Yes, it's Winston Churchill, great hero of Western civilization. You have enemies, good. It means you stood for something once in your life.
That's right. I don't know if I really have many enemies. I mean, just for the fact that I'm Jewish, I have enemies.
Of
but
course
for
you do.
myself personally,
If you don't have enemies, you need to make some.
yeah, I don't know too many people who hate me just for
Stephanie,
me.
grab that book that's sitting behind you. This is a great conversation to have. I want you to grab that book. It says War on the side of it. And I want you to pull that book out for me. And I want you to tell me what the first strategy of war is in that book. Right. Number one, just pull it up and read the little description they have. They have the whole listing at the beginning of what is the number one strategy.
Declare war on your enemies.
Read it.
Life is endless battle and conflict, and you cannot fight effectively unless you can identify your enemies. Learn to smoke out your enemies, to spot them by the signs and patterns that reveal hostility. Then, once you have them in your sights, inwardly declare war. Your enemies can fill you with purpose and direction.
That's right. Inwardly declare war, meaning once you've smoked out who the bad guys are, don't I declare bankruptcy. No, don't let them know. It's just, remember the other night when I was telling Zach to keep his mouth shut after class?
Oh, sure.
About his karate class?
Oh, yeah. Telling friends, don't tell people that you have skills in terms of defending yourself. Yeah, one of the things that I teach the students is how to successfully evade a threat that might be coming at them. You know, they always think, I asked the question, I was like, what do you do if there's a bad guy at the door? Right, and at first he was like, he's one of my best students. At first he was like, use karate. And I was like, no, don't use karate. That's a last resort. This is in case if they have no other choice. First thing, use your brain. First thing, take a breath. Breathe deeply if you can, if there's no fire or some other kind of danger, and find a way to escape. But then I told him, his parents were kind of talking about how he's like gained a lot of confidence from martial arts, and how he kind of like, keeps the peace amongst the bullies in his class. But I told him, and I think he kind of struggled with the concept, but I think he'll get it soon enough. But don't tell people that you know karate. Don't tell people. Right.
Yes, it's not something to brag about. I'm a sensei. I'm out in the open. It's who I am. It's not going to be,
But for someone like me, it would be good for me to act very weak. Or maybe not. Because if people think you're weak, then they are going to approach you and try to jump you.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
But so if I'm in a parking lot, I do want to appear like I'm hypervigilant and I'm like ready to attack somebody. But at the same time, I don't want to let out all my secrets. Correct.
When I was in New York City and I was in a dangerous neighborhood, I walked like I was a bad guy. I put on I was a sheep in wolf's clothing. I was I won't say I was a sheep, but I mean, over the years, I honed my martial arts. But when I had to move to New York City to learn martial arts, that's where I started. But I would walk like I was the guy that was going to be putting the hurt on anyone as a way to threat display essentially. Walk with a bit of a swagger, you know, like I'm confident, but keeping an eye on things. Situational awareness is key. And that's one of the things we teach the kids in the class is how to be aware. You know, how many people in this room do you know are between you and the person that you love? How would you get to the person that you love? Do you know where the person you love in this room is? How would you get out? What if that door, there was a bad guy at the door, you couldn't get out? Where else would you go? How would you get out of this room? Just situational awareness and things like that. It's because it's unfortunate that we have to teach kids that there's evil in the world, but I think it's my job as their teacher to show them that there is danger out there. This is not a dangerous place here, but this is a place for us to practice and train in case there might be danger in the world, because you will have enemies. You will have enemies. Even the person who is the most milquetoast person of all, the most milquetoast of anybody, will have an enemy just for the fact that somebody's going to dislike it. They're not going to like the look of your milquetoast face.
I never was bullied, but the cool girls were not that nice to me when I was in school. I remember one time I asked a girl if I could sit on the bench with her, and she said no. So it's like, you know, I didn't actually get hurt, but people have been rude. That's for sure.
The best way to abduct Steffi in a parking lot is throw some shekels on the ground. Okay, yes, actually, because if you put a penny...
Who is that? Who said that?
Dad Bod Baboon.
Oh, you get a pass. Even though that was very stereotypical.
That was, listen, everybody gets made fun of here, or else we don't get to make fun of like Muslims and or Christians or anyone or Republicans or conservatives or Democrats or leftists. We don't get to make fun of all those people with stereotypes if we can't also take it, right? I'm a WASP.
Yeah.
But so I can make WASP jokes and people can make WASP jokes about me. And then I feel like every once in a while I get an N-word pass, just every once in a while, if I'm singing it. Because if you don't know, now you know. Justin Peterson's going to be here in 15 minutes. Can you freaking believe
goodness.
it? Can you believe it?
Well, the morning is certainly flying by.
So we've talked a little bit about this morning about the ballroom. Just so you know, the Freedom Family Friday show is always chaos and anarchy. And we just talk about whatever we want, whenever we want. We have a general structure, but it's not like we force ourselves to stick to topics. But we are going to talk about some topics with my brother, Justin Peterson. He read my piece in Tablet Magazine. We're talking about that guy who, as well, in context of this conversation, who got the Nazi tattoo. Did you hear about this stuff?
Yeah, so you started talking about it and showing his photo.
Yes. Yep. So he got the Totenkopf tattoo. You remember what's his name? PDS. Phil DeFranco. He talked about it.
Oh my gosh!
Let's watch his little recap.
I'm a big fan.
Okay,
I've been a big fan since like the early 2000s.
He's looking very like he's on Ozempic these days.
Let's take a look. Yes.
Graham Platner controversy. Right? If you don't know Platner, he's a Democratic candidate in Maine Senate race. He's kind of blown up online as of late, has raised millions and millions of dollars, but he's now found himself in a predicament. And it stems from this video that's now been widely seen from the Pod Save America podcast. And in it, you can see he has a tattoo, and it looks a lot like a Totenkopf or a death set. Yes, technically, the death set has existed in German military traditions for much longer than the Nazis, but ever since World War II and its use among SS divisions, it's been exclusively associated with them. And with that, you have Platner claiming that he got this tattoo back in 2007 while in the Marine Corps and on leave in Croatia, and that one night he got drunk and decided to get a skull and crossbones tattoo without ever realizing that the one that he got was, or at the very least, is very similar to the Nazi symbol. With him also claiming that he only recently learned about the resemblance, made plans to get it removed, and that also despite multiple government agencies taking a look at it. So for example, he joined the army and they check all tattoos for any possible hate symbols, and apparently they didn't have any issue with it. With Platner also adding there, I also passed a full background check to receive a security clearance to join the ambassador to Afghanistan security detail. And with all of that, as of yesterday, it appears that he has gotten the tattoo covered up, with him telling reporters, going to a tattoo removal place is going to take a while. I wanted this thing off my body. And so you have all of that, that's playing out, but also it's not the only thing that's been playing out, because it seems like whoever is doing the opposition research here has been doing their job. Because in addition to the tattoo situation, there's also been a controversy around his old Facebook and Reddit posts. Posts and or questions around black people's tipping habits, mocking rural Americans and dismissing military sexual assaults. And regarding that first thing, he said on Pod Save America,
I was legitimately asking the question. I mean, that was the point of the thread. Was to ask the question. Amusingly enough, I remember this time when I had first started bartending, and then I had a conversation with a friend of mine who was black, who was a bartender, who did a great job of walking me through structural injustice and the fact of feelings of lack of agency. There were a whole bunch of reasons, and after that, I was like, oh yeah, that makes absolutely perfect sense. It was certainly not meant as a malicious thing.
Platner later adding, that one, I must say, I was legitimately curious. Right in that, as you had Platner trying to explain his past comments, saying they were made during a dark time in his life after leaving the army, and he was still suffering the effects of PTSD. But also regarding his past and who he is now, you had him telling the AP, I don't look at this as a liability. I look at this as a life that I have lived, a journey that has been difficult, that has been full of struggle, that has also gotten me to where I am today. I'm very proud of who I am. And all in all, this has been a very interesting situation to watch play out, because depending on where you go online, vastly different reactions. Like some saying they outright don't buy his story, they have questions, they're skeptical, some calling for him to back out. One of his biggest critics actually seems to be his former political director, Genevieve McDonald, who claims that Platner knew what the tattoo was and wrote, Graham has an anti-Semitic tattoo on his chest. He's not an idiot, he's a military history buff. Maybe he didn't know it when he got it, but he got it years ago and he should have had it covered up because he knows damn well what it means. But that also is...
How can a history buff and not knowing go in the same sentence? If you're a history buff, then you certainly know what this symbol means. So that doesn't make sense.
He insisted he didn't know what the tattoo meant. The most infamous symbol. It's like getting a swastika tattoo and being like, I didn't know what it meant. Like literally, like you learn about that stuff starting from middle school all the way through high school. You learn about the Nazis like every other year in history classes.
Oh yeah, I learned about the Holocaust way more.
Dude.
But when he went to this tattoo parlor, what did they do? Did they have just like a book that he flipped through and he said, I want that one, right? Or did he say, I want this specific design, and then they had to design it together?
Great question, Stephanie. This is why I love you, because you're a smart girl. Yes, those
I
are
don't
great
have any
questions.
tattoos, but I know people who get tattoos, and they work on these designs for a long time with their tattoo artist. It's not just like some random picture.
Well, Quest says could be very bad at being a history buff. True.
Well, he's on the other side of history.
Here's a fun little clip about the Totenkopf.
And bonus symbol is an old international symbol for danger, death, and piracy. Totenkopf means literally dead person's head in German, and it is a symbol associated with 19th and 20th century German military units. It all started as early as the 1740s with Frederick the Great and the Prussian Hussar cavalry regiments who wore the symbol in the War of Austrian Succession and the 7 Years' War. Later, the Duke of Brunswick-Wolfenbüttel also had a mixed cavalry and infantry force who wore the Totenkopf against Napoleon in the Battle of Jena, in Spain, and in Waterloo. The German Empire also had stormtrooper units and pilots who wore the Totenkopf symbol at the end of the First World War. And this was continued by the
from the 1700s until Hitler, the Totenkopf was a common symbol.
Yeah, so maybe he's getting it for that purpose. Maybe he's more of a 1700s Napoleon historian. Right?
It'd be, you know what? It'd be like, sure. It'd be like if I got a swastika right here and say on my neck, a little swastika, I could say it's an ancient symbol.
Well, it's a Hindu symbol.
It's a Hindu symbol.
Right, exactly. So you're representing it from that part of history.
I should get it right before my next run for the U.S. Senate.
Yeah, because it's all about context. You know, we always take everything out of context, and we just need to realize what part of history he's really expressing here.
I think people don't know shit about history, but I don't think people are confused about who wore that.
In the chaos of World War II, few divisions stood out like the 3rd SS Totenkopf. Known for its striking skull insignia and unyielding discipline, it was forged under the command of Theodor Eicke.
Himmler.
A man who demanded nothing less than absolute loyalty and resilience. Eicke called it an elite within the elite, a division so selective that joining its ranks became one of the toughest challenges in the Waffen-SS. But what set the Totenkopf apart wasn't just its reputation for toughness, it was the pivotal and often controversial role it played in some of the war's...
You're telling me that as somebody who's a student of history and that they didn't see those images and see that skull and that it didn't burn into their memory. Anybody who has any interest in military history knows where that skull came from and knows exactly what it stands for. Before you put something like that on your body, So here's the thing. He's either stupid or evil, and, you know, probably both, I would guess. Stupid and evil. But this is the conversation we're having. We're talking about evil, right? And that's what my article at Tablet Magazine was all about. It was about evil. And since our audience are extremely generous and not evil, thanks, guys. You unlocked the bonus content. We're going to talk about the Tablet Magazine piece.
Wow.
With my brother, Justin Peterson. He's going to be joining us live in a little bit less than 10 minutes. Let me see how long the bonus content is. It's about the NBA betting scandal.
Oh, I didn't know about this.
Yeah, so the sports betting, rigged games. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be a great conversation with Justin Peterson. We're going to talk about the faces of evil, the skulls of evil, the Totenkopf, and the Nazis within our ranks. It's the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network. We'll be right back.
4L.
4 L's.
Patriots, listen up. The sun's out, the shades are on, and the Gulf of America is wide open for business. This summer, don't show up to the beach looking like a landlocked liberal. The Justice Department is bringing charges against more than 30 people in 2 different, but possibly related alleged criminal schemes involving the mafia, sports betting on the NBA, and rigged poker games. The most notable arrests include Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier. Critics of legalized sports betting have been quick to dunk on the NBA for getting involved with sports betting, but legalized sports books and their cooperation with the NBA and law enforcement are likely a big reason the scheme was uncovered at all. The sports betting scheme allegedly involved Rozier and a complex web of former players getting insider information about certain players and using straw bettors to place bets at casinos and online sports books on those players hitting the unders on their player prop bets. FBI Director Kash Patel called it the insider trading saga for the NBA at a Thursday morning press conference. Sometimes these bets involved a person informing the network if a player was going to sit out or enter a game and leave early after faking or exaggerating an injury. For example, in March 2023, Rozier allegedly took himself out of a game after 10 minutes played so that his co-conspirators could cash in. The alleged poker game scheme seems to have involved Billups to help to give the poker games the appearance of legitimacy. The poker players would sometimes lose hundreds of thousands of dollars a night in a game that had been rigged by high-tech cheating methods involving X-ray tables, special glasses, and manipulated card shuffling machines. Authorities said the NBA cooperated in the investigation and that these schemes did not involve college basketball. They added that the investigation is ongoing and that there is always that possibility that more NBA players are arrested. Rozier and Billups are on immediate leave from their teams. Not charged in Thursday's indictments were Malik Beasley or Jonte Porter. Beasley was previously investigated, but not charged, in a federal gambling probe that may be connected to Thursday's announcement. He still could be charged as investigations continue. Porter was charged in 2024 with a felony for alleged conduct similar to what is alleged in the Rozier-related charges. He was subsequently given a lifetime ban from the NBA. It's important to remember, of course, that Billups, Rozier, and the others charged in the cases are innocent until proven guilty and deserve their day in court. Rozier's lawyer has already given a statement to Pablo Torres Finds Out saying, "They appear to be taking the word of spectacularly incredible sources rather than relying on actual evidence of wrongdoing." Terry was cleared by the NBA, and these prosecutors revived that non-case. Terry is not a gambler, but he is not afraid of a fight, and he looks forward to winning this fight. In general, the feds often overcharge in hopes of intimidating defendants into plea deals. Reverend Paul Tonko, DNY, wrote on X that the alleged crimes were an inevitable consequence of the unchecked explosion of the sports betting industry. As the New York Times noted, Tonko supports federal legislation that would limit sports betting ads and implement affordability checks for bettors, neither of which would have done anything to stop the alleged conspiracies. Though don't be surprised if the NBA-related scheme is used as a reason to limit player prop bets. as NBA Commissioner Adam Silver asked for earlier this week. The NBA is very concerned about the multiple arrests made as a result of the FBI's sports gambling code. But, if anything, all this taking place with legalized sportsbooks has helped uncover the alleged schemes. The sportsbooks themselves are victims in this case, Joseph Nocella, U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, said at Thursday's press conference. They themselves, as far as our investigation has concluded, did not perpetrate anything unlawful. He did not name which sportsbooks were involved. For example, in the March 2023 game, Rozier left the game early with an injury after playing for only 10 minutes. That same game had a suspicious amount of betting activity on the unders for Rozier's player prop bets, with Rozier's co-defendants allegedly betting a combined $200,000. Had that betting activity been placed with illegal bookies or offshore sports books, it probably would have gone unnoticed. But when sports betting is legal, sports books won't be afraid to flag suspicious activity like this to sports leagues and law enforcement. Likewise, if people had a place to play high-stakes poker in Manhattan, they wouldn't need to go through the mafia to do it. It does feel like the NBA, in conjunction with sports books, should be able to uncover these incidents sooner. But as sports lawyer Michael McCann pointed out at Sportico, law enforcement has a lot more power than the NBA. As a private entity, the NBA cannot issue subpoenas to demand evidence, including texts and other records, or compel sworn testimony. While the NBA has contractual authority over players, coaches, and referees, it cannot require witnesses, including bookies and players' associates, to cooperate in an investigation. Perhaps most important, the NBA can't scare witnesses into cooperating. If the allegations brought by the Justice Department on Thursday are true, then it's sad that the integrity of the NBA was compromised. But the answer is not to push sports betting back into the shadows of bookies and offshore bets. It's to keep sports betting in the light so that perpetrators can be brought to justice. Tim Donaghy, remember, got away with betting on games that he officiated for years, more than a decade before widespread legalized sports betting. The allegation should not affect the legality of bets placed by an average Joe who's just sitting on his couch, blowing $5 on a parlay with his friends. As Patel said, if you're participating in the legal gambling industry, you got nothing to worry about. Imagine bringing George Washington back to life. Just to explain that in 2025, men can get pregnant, waving an American flag might offend someone, and our government is $34 trillion in debt. But that's not all, George. We have drag queen story hour for toddlers. Pronouns are mandatory. And Harvard can't define woman. Oh. And we send billions to Ukraine but can't fix potholes in Ohio. You know, just normal modern empire stuff. I'm sure he'd be totally cool with it. Right after he finishes reloading. He didn't cross the Delaware for this nonsense, but you can carry on the fight with gear that would have made King George cry. Shop bold, shop free, shop4libertyshop.com.
The skull. Yeah. That was a skull, and now it is. Okay. You can't quite tell, but. Yeah. Well, actually, maybe. Yeah. It still has its, like, healing thing on it. Yeah. And maybe we shouldn't just because it's. Well, whatever.
A Democratic Senate candidate in the state of Maine revealed that he has covered up his controversial tattoo after its Nazi-linked design sparked controversy. Though judging from the reaction of the reporter interviewing him for WGME-TV, a local Maine outlet, it's a bit comically unclear what the new design is supposed to represent.
What is that? This? Yeah,
what is that?
It's just it's a design.
It's a design.
No, it's supposed to be like a dog. Oh. But it's based on some like ancient Celtic.
Yeah, right, sure. So's the Totenkopf. Good morning, pineapples. Cringe. Steffi's cringe face.
I think he has an eggplant on the other boob.
I don't know what it is. He's got a bunch of ugly tattoos. Graham Platner. Bernie Sanders endorsed leftist populist and fan of chicken farmer Heinrich Himmler, perhaps. I don't know.
Okay, would you rather have Tweety Bird or this Nazi symbol on your chest?
Don't make me answer that. Don't make me answer that. Justin Peterson, maybe we'll make him answer that. Justin's in the house. Good morning, Justin. Nice to see you.
Guys, I got a tattoo and it's really cool and I talk like this.
Justin.
This is how I perform my masculinity, by talking like this, because I'm such a dude.
Justin, welcome to the Wake Up America show, brother. It's great to see you again.
Yo. Well, thank you for having me.
Oh my God. Where to begin?
He's really not a Totenkopf. He's a Lockenkopf. You know what that is?
No.
Lockenkopf. That's a hole in the head.
Oh.
That's what that is.
I thought it was gonna be like a pop and lock, like popping and locking.
Lockenkopf. That's like, I think that's Yiddish actually.
Exactly. World War II electric boogaloo Nazi Totenkopf edition. Popping and locking. Hitler.
But guys, I'm a history expert. I know all about history.
It's a dog that is Celtic.
How does he say that was literally a quote of his, is that he's a history buff. And how are you a history buff if you don't know what the Death's Head is, Justin? Even if it's like piracy.
Also, like, I have a student of mine who is brilliant and he researches tattoos. Like, he's done a really deep dive into tattoos. He goes overseas to get his tattoos done because of the artistry of some of these tattoo artists. So, like, I mean, I don't know. The whole, I'm a sailor and I went in to, like, you know, get some poontang and some tattoos. And I'm just like, bro, come on. That story's played out from the 1950s. Like, we're done with that now. We're moving on. Yeah, I think that, you know, most people who get tattoos today really invest the time to understand what they are and their meaning. And so I don't buy it. I think he's full of Scheisse, as they say in German.
The only people I know who have regrettable tattoos are people who have gotten a hold of a tattoo gun and then they go to parties while they're drunk and they have people draw on them. So those are the only people that, you know, really get tattoos that are embarrassing that I've known.
I mean,
it's forever, man.
It is. I don't believe that he didn't know what that symbol was, Justin.
Yeah,
do you?
Same.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So here's the thing, but he's a leftist populist endorsed by Bernie Sanders. He's raised millions of dollars, Justin. It's not just anybody running against Susan Collins in Maine. He's a lobster farmer. How did we get here with someone like that? How did we get to this point where we're at right now, where I'm writing pieces in Tablet Magazine about how Hitler is back in fashion? It's kind of, it's like the competition for cringe is at an all-time high. I've never seen so much cringe in my life.
Well, we're not policing our crazies. That's what got to the left, is that they didn't police their crazies and the crazies took over, right? So now on the right, I mean, I know this guy isn't on the right, but, you know, police your crazies, man.
Yes,
you gotta police your crazies.
Yes, correct. Bill Buckley, there's a lot of discussion about how he, in the 1960s, 70s, he policed the conservative movement. He gatekept to keep out people like the John Birch Society and other institutions that were very conspiratorial in order to bring about the cultural revolution that finally culminated with the election of Ronald Reagan in 1980. So I listen to interviews sometimes like Tucker Carlson and Dave Smith, and they demonize Buckley because of what he did to purge the Bircherites and many others on the right. But clearly, with what we're seeing today with the Hitler revival online, that it was a deeply necessary thing to do, to gatekeep, to say things like, you know, conservatism and libertarian or classical liberalism and the ideas that the Republican Party were founded on, anti-slavery, low taxes, that these are incompatible with the ethos of National Socialism. But some people have a hard time saying that, Justin. It's an interesting time in politics where Hitlerites and people who say unironically that they love Hitler are the top podcasters in this space. Your thoughts?
Right. Well, I think I have a lot of I think a lot of it is it feels doesn't feel organic, right? It doesn't feel organic to me. It feels like it's somehow being propped up somehow. these fringe people do have the ears of a lot of people. And, you know, again, one of the things that happened in the woke times was, you know, you'd see people getting deplatformed. It's like, oh, we have to get rid of these voices. We can't listen to what these people say. And of course, you know, I've always felt like, well, sunlight is the best disinfectant. I mean, like with Candace Owens, you know, just let her talk because she's freaking crazy. And I just think that the alliance, I mean, there's a point at which, I don't know, I don't know how you feel about horseshoe theory of politics, but it feels like they're the Marxist left and the Marxist right are converging together to kind of create this new power thing going on. And I'm just kind of like, okay, well, I'm just going to be over here with my liberal values and y'all can have fun. Yeah.
The thing is, if we let people listen to people like Candace Owens, sure, they might sound crazy to us, but to a lot of people in this world, they believe Candace Owens.
Listen to this.
Leading people into AI, I have always sensed this demonic because I'm telling you, I don't even think these people are human. Like I look at Elon Musk and Sam Altman and Peter Thiel, and I'm pretty sure they're hybrid. You know what I mean? Like they just look like an Apple software that I should be able to download at night, you know, like my phone's getting an update or something. It's something in the eyes. Like, I don't know. I'm like, I know I'm human, but I don't know if I stabbed you if you bleed, you know, I'm not going to stab them. But I don't know if they bleed all the way. I think a battery would fall out. You know what I mean?
So if you're a paranoid psychotic and you're listening to that and you wonder, Candace, she always gives us the truth. I wonder if I stabbed Sam Altman or if I stabbed Peter Thiel, if they would bleed, right? It's an interesting thing. Like, at what point are we really talking about stochastic terrorism to an extent?
There you go.
Justin.
Yeah, that's right. I agree. It's stochastic terrorism. It is kind of stochastic terrorism.
She puts the ideas into people's heads.
Yeah. Well, she puts a lot of crazy ideas into people's heads, not just things about like getting stabbing Sam Altman and Peter Thiel, but what was the thing that I said that I showed yesterday where she was talking about Charlie Kirk murdered by Trump? Did you see this?
What?
Oh boy, she grabs at every straw she can, man.
Do you think she's just doing this for likes and
That's
shares
the theory, right?
money?
So that's the question, right? Trump.
I don't know how a smart woman like that could truly believe all this stuff. Because at one point in time, she made sense, right?
There's so much shady stuff around her. So she's saying she's lost faith in Trump following the assassination, claiming Kirk was betrayed by the very people who he called his closest friends.
We just know. We just know that he was truly betrayed in one of the most egregious ways that I think I've ever seen. It has made me lose faith in politics. It has made me fully lose faith in Trump. And my heart aches for the fact that he gave so much of his life to Trump and to politics. And they just were like, nope, that is it. It serves us or it doesn't serve us and we want to move on. And so here's a holiday. Bro, if they try to give me a holiday, what is with them giving people a holiday after they kill them? Why is that a thing?
Holiday?
You know what I mean?
What is this?
Like, oh, Martin Luther King, what about this holiday? What about this boulevard? Anyways, let me knock off. Like, they're going to give Charlie Kirk a boulevard. They already did. They did in Israel. They gave him freaking boulevard. It's like, as soon as they give you a boulevard and a holiday, they definitely killed you. Okay, there's no question. They killed you. There's no way. That's like their signature thing. It's like that's what they do. It's the Fed signature. It's how they sign off after they murder you. So like holiday and a boulevard. And it's never on a nice side of town either. Like Charlie Kirk Boulevard is not going to be a nice side of town.
So he's betrayed by the people who supported him. She says the feds killed Charlie Kirk. The feds. Which means Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is in charge of the federal government at this point.
Which means we killed him.
Which means that, it wasn't the left. It wasn't Antifa. We shouldn't be focusing on these violent leftist terrorists in this country. No. We should be focusing on Donald Trump assassinating Charlie Kirk. These are the people, and if you confront these people, Justin, it's like it is like taking a light and shining it under a rock. All of the evil, all of the scree. Yes. I call it conspiracy brain, but what it really is paranoid schizophrenia run amok, and it's psychosis. It's allowing the inmates to run the asylum.
That's right.
And they're deeply dangerous people because.
Oh yes.
I remember. One of the only times I was ever violently attacked, or at least attempted, somebody tried to violently attack me, was at a debate where I was debating and debunking conspiracies around chemtrails, conspiracies around vaccines, conspiracies around 9/11 truth. And at the end, there was some shirtless crazy guy who was so angry that he was, that he was trying to pull away from his people to come over and get, what looked like he wanted to assault me for just the simple fact that, thimerosal is probably safe and that there are two different kinds of mercury, ethyl mercury and methyl mercury, and one is dangerous.
I heard her say Israel in her sentences somewhere. I don't know what in the world she was saying about Israel.
That there was a boulevard named after him in Israel.
Oh, in Israel. Yeah, okay, of course. She's always going to blame the Jews somewhat.
There's always the Jews. There's no Jews, no news, because in Nigeria, Christians are being murdered at an alarming rate. But these Christians don't give a shit about those Christians because
not at all.
No Jews, no news. Have you noticed
what's
that?
going on in Nigeria is absolutely atrocious.
I don't know anything about Nigeria. What's happening?
Of course you don't know anything about Nigeria, but you know a lot about Gaza and the West Bank and Palestine and all that stuff, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that
Miss
interesting?
Rachel continues to talk about Gaza and how she wishes she could give milk to the children in Gaza.
I love how you don't show baby Hazel, Miss Rachel, but you watch Miss Rachel.
I scream.
Good.
These people that everyone wants Hazel to watch.
Listen to this. Oh, it's not a video. Christian persecution in Nigeria. 18,000 churches burned since 2009. 52,000 people killed since 2009. 5 million people displaced since 2009, Christians. 7,000 or more killed just this year in Nigeria. Not a single word to say about that because no Jews, no news.
Who's killing them?
The Muslims.
Oh, they're Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
I see.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. They're killing them. And there's gruesome videos. Christians refuse to renounce their faith in Nigeria. Their churches are burned down. This kind of persecution is happening right now in the world.
Is someone about to get killed in this?
Yeah, I'm
video
not going to
here?
play it on the thing, but you can just see some of the stuff. Slaughters, massacred of their fellow Christians. Not a single word to say about it. And you can call that whataboutism if you will, but you'd think they'd at least say one thing about it, because at the end of the day, there's all this Christ is King talk. There's a lot of waving around of credentials on behalf of these paranoid, schizophrenic, Nazi assholes, many of them. And yet it's always the Jews, the neocons. If it's not the Jews, it's the neocons, right? But never, ever a word about any of this, but always the waving of the credentials of, this is about their faith and Judy and Jesus. Oh, by the way, wasn't Jewish. We have to listen to those kinds of points of views. But where did this all come from? Part of it, I think, comes tangentially from the populist libertarians on the right. And that's what my article at Tablet Magazine is about. Hitler is back in style. Is my own libertarian movement responsible? And I tell the story that I had written way back in 2013 about an incident that occurred in 2011. I say incident, but it was a dinner where a very well-dressed Nazi was talking about how the Jews control the Federal Reserve. He was hanging out with us Ron Paul people because he believed in all the Jewish conspiracy theories. And so the Federal Reserve conspiracy theory being the center to that, the Jews own it. And, that's why you hear now, I don't know if you guys are seeing this online. I'm very online, but usury has become a big topic. Justin, you've noticed that discussion of usury?
No, but I love that you said that word.
What is that? Can you say the meaning of that word?
Usury is loaning money at interest.
Okay.
Right. Usury is immoral, so the Jews do money lending, and therefore
I have never gotten any type of loan with no interest ever before. I don't know where you can get this. I please, if someone knows, tell me, because I think I'm entitled to it. Right.
It's your history. So the Jews are not like the evangelical fundamentalist Christians like we were raised. We were raised in the Word. We were raised we went to Bible school. And unless you are like rabbinical or you're going to be a real strong Orthodox Jew, in Judaism, they don't teach you the Bible, the Old Testament, with such fervor as we Christians learn the Bible. We have to memorize all of the names of the books. We have to understand Genesis all the way down to Revelations. And so the beginning of time all the way to the end of time. it's kind of impressed upon us. So there's a historical knowledge and aspect to that. There's a genealogical aspect to that. So, and Mormons are even more so strong than we were raised in the tradition in terms of genealogical traditions of understanding not just the history, but the ancestry of the church, so that people can trace their lineage. But, all this simply to say that if Jews are unaware of the threats of which they are facing right now, a lot of it has to do with simply the fact that it's not as drilled into your community, the letter of the law of the Old Testament, such as it is. So it's oftentimes perverted against Jews. And then there's also revisionism, like Jesus wasn't Jewish at all. Christians who hate Jews will say that Jesus wasn't Jewish because magic reasons, even though the Bible is very clear about that fact. But it always goes back to the Jews. Every paranoid conspiracy, Justin, I've ever heard, sooner or later points to the Jews. It always goes that way. Now, is that because of the Jews, or is that because of the particular nature of paranoid schizophrenia? Your thoughts?
Well, I don't know, but I just feel like, man, these people can't catch a break. I'm like, because one of the classes I took in college was a Jewish American literature. And so we read a lot of different writers and things on, and it was amazing, the idea of the wandering Jew, right? The idea that there's no homeland, like there's just
rootless cosmopolitans
around.
Was a slur.
Yeah. So it seems that this historically has always been a people who have had to struggle mightily against true oppression, real oppression for a very long period of time.
Steffi says that she doesn't think that all of it is real. She thinks it's an op, or maybe you said that earlier.
Yeah, I think it's kind of an op too. I think it's a psyop.
Talk to that.
No, I just think that it's when things like this happen and they gain fervor, something is it feels rather false. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And when we've always said, this idea of never again, with the idea of the Holocaust and things like that, it's like, well, never again is now, because it's happening again. Like, we're seeing anti-Semitism flaring up, not just on the left, but also on the right. And, we should be calling that out no matter what. It's wrong.
And I don't know if these people really have like a mental health disorder, like schizophrenia. Because I remember back when I first started becoming libertarian and involved with Ron Paul and conspiracy theories, I listened to Alex Jones. I listened to Jesse Ventura. And I, too, became really paranoid. And I would write things like on Facebook and share articles from naturalnews.com. And I would say, everyone, listen to this. And I remember I would have friends who would comment on my post and they'd be like, stop it, Stephanie. Like I was freaking other people out.
Wake up, sheeple.
Yes, I would say things like that. And I would get in fights with friends, my sister. I mean, I'd be in like full-blown debates with people that I really cared about. And it's not that I was schizophrenic. It was just that like I was very brainwashed and I was scared because I trusted the Ron Paul movement and all of the characters around him.
Well, there were a lot of paranoid schizophrenics around him. There were a lot of people who attached themselves, unfortunately, to poor Ron Paul and dragged his name through the mud in certain ways. Because in my article in Tablet Magazine, I go through the story of the newsletters, which really was a painful saga in my own political awakening, because I had no idea that these newsletters existed where they said things like AIDS was created by the government to kill homosexuals, which doesn't make sense because if the government's woke, they're not going to try and kill homosexuals. But and then it
also because they didn't say anything about it for like forever. Like AIDS came around, like it was first documented in the New York Times in 1981.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many years it took for Ronald Reagan to say the word AIDS. He didn't say it for like a year or two. There was a great lapse of time. So
I was in New York City in 2007. I had a 1,000 person strong organization that I was one of the 12 leaders of. We were kind of knights of the round table, and we put this together. We raised $1 million for Ron Paul and just our group. I dedicated my life and career in activism to the movement that was launched then. And I remember in 2007 or 2008, right after the Iowa primaries, that the newsletter controversy dropped, and half of the institution that I built with, blood and sweat and tears that are in that year just departed. The senior leadership, many of them left. I still have all the email chain actually from people talking about. I went back and I read it about all, and some of them still my friends to this day. But it was that was the political campaign I cut my teeth on, and I realized that there were some darker elements to this movement then, because a lot of those people quit because they were like, oh, well, we're the people in these newsletters that Ron's talking about, and so we're not welcome, I guess, amongst libertarianism. So their first idea of libertarianism was what they thought was this beautiful new revolution of classical liberal ideals, but because it showed that there was a tie to these unsavory elements, many of them departed, and it was never the same again. And that newsletter controversy, of course, haunted poor Ron Paul. And the people that surrounded poor Ron Paul have done him disservice for years and years. So at the end of the day, the question is for myself, how do I define myself and what do I believe? I think I have to do that independently of who Ron Paul is or was or whatever it was. And I reject what I read in the newsletters. I reject that way of thinking. I'm not a paleo-populist. And I'm a conservative libertarian, a American nationalist. I believe in, the dignity of the individual. I'm not a racist, but I can still laugh at racist jokes. I'm not woke, and I don't have to be silent when I hear people Heil Hitlering. I think it's wise to speak up, and you're not a pussy because you stand up against Nazi fags. So welcome to the most unwoke, unpolitically correct show on the planet. Nazis and commies.
And I feel bad. Yeah. I feel bad because in the Jewish newspaper that would go around locally in Michigan back in, 2012, they were saying Ron Paul was an isolationist. And I wrote into the Jewish News, I wrote my very own article to the editor, and I said, no, he's a non-interventionist. And I was like fighting all the points. I almost feel stupid now that I did that, to be quite honest.
Well, you don't feel...
You didn't know.
You didn't know.
I know, but I was, I was fighting for all of these anti-Semitic people that I didn't know were anti-Semitic at the time.
It's a long story.
Yeah.
It involves a lot of people like Walter Block. He's a Jewish professor who is considered Mr. Libertarian, anarcho-capitalist. He's been defenestrated from the Mises Institute, had his works removed from that. It's a huge controversy because he supports Israel in the war of civilization between the barbarians of Hamas and the civilized society of Israeli liberals who wish to have a peaceful, modern, technologically advanced, and capitalistic society in a desert of hell and torment and torture and brutality and human sacrifice. And I make no apologies for my support of Israel. It has nothing to do with an affinity for ethnicity. It has nothing to do with ancient blood feuds. It has nothing to do with religion or spirituality or myths whatsoever. For me, it's all cold, clear, calculated pragmatism, and Israel is a shield against Islamic barbarism. That's my view. It's Captain America's shield. And I think that the people who want to divide Israel between America and the United States have ulterior motives. It's not just Nazi freaks. It's also Islamic fascists who want to destroy the West and Islamify and create a caliphate in Western countries. They've already done it to the UK. They want to do it to the United States, and we have to resist it at every turn. That's what a lot of this anti-Israel shit, the PSYOP that you're talking about, Justin, that's what that is, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything to add on that?
Well, Steelbringer said, that's a lot of us, Steph. They lied a lot. I think a lot of us were duped for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people were duped by COVID, we're being duped at every turn. And so, for me, it's this idea of, one is be skeptical just of everything. I just have reached a point where I don't believe anything anymore. Anything people say, I'm like, yeah. But Camellia says brilliantly, she says, don't trust, only verify.
Yes.
And that's kind of like where I'm at.
Yeah.
But others also, too, there is something about conspiracy theories that appeals to the ego, right? It appeals to your sense of, I have secret knowledge. I know things other people don't know. It's kind of like that meme. Have you seen that meme of the guy at the party who like everyone's dancing and he's standing over in the corner and he's like, nobody knows that I know about such and such and such. And like everyone's having a great time. It's kind of like that's what the conspiracy theory person is doing. They're sort of like they're over in the corner at the party and they're like, nobody knows that 9/11 was an inside job.
Yeah, they don't know that. Yeah, I know. And then we're actually like, no, actually, dude, we know that you think 9/11's an inside job.
And that's why we're having fun and you're over there miserable in the corner.
And the only reason you're here is because you have the best drugs at the party. So usually there's some drug use.
You know, there's that other meme. There's that other meme where there's like that guy though to kind of make the contrary argument, which is that there's the one guy who's in that meme where he's standing there and it's crowds of millions and millions of people, and the one guy is like, yeah, you're all wrong.
Exactly.
But there are moments in history where, the odd man out is actually right. I mean, I always talk about the story of Ignaz Semmelweis, the guy who figured out that if you wash your hands, you don't spread diseases. And this was only found out in the 1800s. He had to fight the entire medical establishment to convince the doctors that they needed to wash their hands.
What?
Because they thought he was crazy. Oh yeah, look him up. And he fought so hard actually against this prevailing idea that you didn't have to wash your hands. He ended up in a mental institution.
Oh my
it literally drove him insane. Literally, it drove him insane.
Yeah, because imagine if you really did know the truth, right? Yeah. And this is what all the conspiracy, brain people do, is they all think that they have the special hidden knowledge, right? I believe there is a concept of being based in red pilled, but I think Michael Malice said you don't take the whole bottle. You take one, you take one red pill.
Just one.
Just one.
Call the doctor in the morning.
Call the doctor in the morning.
That's a good one.
But that's what happened to me, Justin, is that, I got red pilled by Ron Paul, and thank you, Ron Paul, for waking me up and curing my apathy. Dr. Ron Paul cured my apathy. And I listened to Ron Paul. The only place to find Ron Paul's views, and he would talk about Austrian economics, and I found all that stuff to be fascinating. I got into the intellectual side of libertarianism, not the conspiracy side. But in the beginning, I was on the conspiracy side because the only place where I could hear Ron Paul was Alex Jones. He was the only person who would interview him. The mainstream media would just make fun of Ron Paul, which of course made me feel paranoid about the mainstream media, which of course was totally warranted. Because they are biased, and there is a conspiracy against us by legacy media. Thankfully, that's starting to subside, but unfortunately, we're now seeing psyops in social media now. So it's probably a feature rather than a bug, the paranoid psychosis that's induced. But in the beginning, I was listening to Alex Jones. I was reading the conspiracy websites. But then I don't know. I think I probably have some kind of a defense mechanism. There's something in my brain that was. I think it was the early skepticism, Justin. The time that we spent reading the Sam Harris and the Richard Dawkins and the Christopher Hitchens that turned me off, because usually conspiracies and religion are very much tied. So when you talk about Jewish religious conspiracies. It's usually like, God bless you and 9/11 was an inside job. That paranoia and faith and religion and mysticism and spirituality all go together.
The Christ is King phenomenon that was going on, which was an anti-Jewish, was absolutely anti-Jewish, that totally hoodwinked all these Christians because they didn't understand that Christ is King was being used by Nazi people on the right, who were trying to get people to say it, and then they didn't understand, well, Christ is King. And then it's like, you don't understand that you're being used. You Christians are being used to spread this ideology of this.
It was meant to divide Christians from Jews.
Correct.
That was the point, yeah.
Correct.
Well, but then you'll have the Alex Jones type people, and they will point to things like, for example, to prove the mysticism in some sense. They will point to things like Bohemian Grove, for example, which I'm not sure. Have you ever?
I don't know what this is.
Oh, how could you be a conspiracy theorist for any amount of time?
Is it something about the Bilderbergs?
Is it something about the Bilderbergs?
No,
it's the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds.
No.
Those are the only terms I know.
So it's this. I'll pull up like the actual definition, but it's creepy weirdness. So it's a bunch of elites, weirdos, who go out into the woods. Here we go. Here's like Here it is. Bohemian Grove.
So this really happened.
Yeah, here we go.
Many believe
This
it's
is
where
real.
the so-called power elite meet to set the course of world events. There's even an episode of the House of Cards that nods to it.
Some of the most powerful men in the world are gathered in this clearing. Members of one of our country's most exclusive clubs. They carve up the world like a Sunday roast. This is where the real power is.
Now, to be fair, the Bohemian Club didn't start out as this
It did, yeah. It was a club, and then every club has like weird rituals, like the Moose Lodge in downtown, and it's usually the guys who run the town who are members of the local Moose Lodge, and so these guys, they started up their own owl cult out in California. Richard Nixon got invited there, presidents went there. And so that's what, people like Alex Jones, that's how he got big, was he went to Bohemian Grove and he recorded one of the rituals.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
that's so interesting.
Exactly. See, it's
Wow.
fascinating, right? Isn't that much more interesting than sitting down and reading a book about monetary theory by Friedrich Hayek? Wouldn't you rather watch a documentary? Wouldn't you rather fill your brain with poison that makes you feel good?
Well, if it's an undercover video, then it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
he documented.
It's a
real
Burning Man
things.
for the elites, says Barney Stiles. But
it's a Blair Witch project for rich people.
yeah, to some
Yeah.
extent, it's kind of
Yeah.
like it's owl power. Yes, it's a Burning Man for the elites, but also Burning Man itself is also an elite thing. It's just out in the open. Some people want to have their Burning Man with their private friends, and if you're elites, Justin, this is going to sound weird, but I don't hang out at the 4-H club on the weekends. I don't go to the country club or anything. But like the circles that I run in, typically you might consider what they are. They're probably pretty elite for the most part. Most of my friends have high up positions, like Vince and Mark and Joe and all these guys. These guys are all elites. Joe's going to be in some mountain range skiing over the Christmas holiday in South America, doing some shit like that with rich people. They're elites. Joe, we don't have owl rituals or anything, but I mean, yeah, elite people hang out with elite people. It's just what it is. We don't.
Sure.
It's a culture. Am I up blowing up the club?
No,
Am I not going to get
I think
invited?
you're right. No, I think you're right.
No,
I think
no
that's
skull and bones invite for me now that I blew up our position. So.
Well, you have to wear your Totenkopf.
Well, I think it goes back to that whole hybrid thing. Elite people, they're just very different than anybody else, any normies. So I think normies have a hard time understanding the elites
Well,
and
the
what
elites
they're
don't-
interested in and what they talk about.
Most of the elites don't share the same religion as the middle and lower
Yes.
classes, or they have no religion at all.
Right.
So that's where a lot of the suspicion of the elites comes from, because they don't, the elites aren't the type of people to show up to Sunday school on Sunday morning, but they're your bosses.
And that's the thing that irks me about people of that in policy making, because it's like so many times in politics you have people making decisions about things who have never lived in a community, maybe a middle class community, a working class community.
Yes.
They don't know the needs of the neighborhoods. I mean, I was reading yesterday that 87% of carjackings in DC went down, right? Because of Trump's kind of sweep through the area of the crime stuff that was going on. And the people of the community and the black community that live in DC are thrilled. They are so happy that this has happened.
Yeah.
But when people are in power and you don't know what's going on in neighborhoods and you don't know how people are living, you think, well, we're just going to do this and it doesn't matter. It's like you've said, Austin, the elites will always have their little gated communities and they'll always be able to kind of live away from the rest of us. But, they're the ones pushing the policies on the rest of us. And that's kind of the problem.
Yeah, and that's where this new populism, the new populist movements have really come from, is the angst at the elites of being governed by people who do not understand our interests. And so one can understand why people would be freaked out. It's normal to look at a ceremonial ritual like the Bohemian Grove where presidents go, and to consider that a strange activity. It is a strange activity. Richard Nixon, actually, he said that it was faggy and that it was a bunch of gay guys. I'm not kidding. Richard Nixon said a bunch of dudes go out in the woods.
It's always the gays and the Jews.
The elite
It's always
Jewish
the
gay men.
Oh my God, it's so funny. The faggotry is off the charts.
Yeah, he said that's where the fags went. Richard Nixon. Oh, wait, I might actually have the audio. Hold on one second.
my
Hold on one
goodness.
second. Here we go. Where is it playing? No, it's not. It's not
Let's look at Northern California.
Let's look at Northern California.
You know what's happening in San Francisco just gone. It's clear over its time, but it isn't just down in the ratty part of town now, but the upper class in San Francisco.
The upper class of San Francisco.
Bohemian Grove that I attend.
Oh, he went. Bohemian Grove he attended from time to time. It's a little rough audio. Hold on.
Is that way? The Bohemian Grove that I attend. One time to time. The others that come there. But it is the most faggy goddamn thing you will ever imagine in San Francisco.
Wow.
The San Francisco crowd that goes there, it's the most faggy thing you could ever imagine.
So faggy.
Don't worry, guys. You're not missing anything.
Yeah, don't worry. You don't want to be in the Bohemian Grove.
You don't want to be there
Club.
anyway.
You don't know what you have to do to get in the Bohemian Grove Club. It's not just
The
branching out,
initiation
God.
process is quite complicated.
That secret handshake really slaps, you guys.
Oh my goodness.
Goes like this. You get a little tickle. You get a little tickle like that.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That is so disgusting. It's Freedom Family Friday on the Wake Up America show. We never knew that it was going to go this way. But I guess when you talk about Nazis, you end up talking about conspiracies. You talk about conspiracy theories. The whole stabbed in the back by Jews during World War I is the ultimate conspiracy theory that Hitler spun as a yarn to convince a nation that they needed to send Stephanie and Hazel off to concentration camps, for their beautiful red hair and lovely Jewish features.
And the gays. And the gays.
Yeah, the gays, the gypsies, the twins.
Yeah. 3 out of 4 of the people that we're all surrounded by right now would be sent directly to the camps.
Yeah.
I would be the stormtrooper asked to send you there.
Well, or you might, Austin, because you're an intellectual. Because they also put the intellectuals in the
glasses.
No, for
people
sure.
thinking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm too public, so but with my liberal, I guess you might say, libertarian values, which are antithetical to fascism and National Socialism. But it's all conspiracy theory, right? The whole Nazi project was built on conspiracy theory. Now, I will say, and I think it's important to address this, especially if you've ever considered the question of how did Hitler and the Nazis take Germany from its defeated state and turn it into a superpower that could launch a second world war? That is a serious question that I think deserves a serious answer, because Nazis, when they're not conspiracy theorizing, they will point to facts such as Hitler turned Germany into a superpower, therefore National Socialism and big government and statism and interventionism is the proper rational way to run a government. Let's say if you were a fascist today, well, maybe we shouldn't kill the Jews, but we should definitely have a government that is economically like Hitler's because it would be in American best interests. That's their argument.
And you're reminding me too of a trope, and I don't think this is true, but it was one of these like unspoken. It was a spoken thing that everybody, I think would repeat, but I don't think it's true. It was the idea of like, well, all of our modern understanding of like science and like medicine comes from the camps. Like I've heard people say that.
A lot of research studies were done.
They're like, we've learned so much about medicine because all the experiments they did on people in the camps. I'm like, I don't think that's true.
Yeah, there was one case, I think, where one experiment in particular contributed to one small understanding of knowledge, but the level of barbarity or savagery that they had to go through to get it was not worth it. And then there was another one in Japan. They had Unit 431, I believe, and they did the same kind of stuff where they would dip people, like live patients, into frozen vats and freeze them and cut off, perform all kinds of terrible, nasty experiments. But the question of the Nazi economy, they talk about how Hitler built it up. Hitler built the German economy up on theft. It was based on theft. That's what fascism is. It's theft. They say, well, it's private ownership but government control. Yeah, that's theft. But when they couldn't get government, when they couldn't have private ownership and government control, they would just take over the factory. The Junkers airplane factory was a perfect example of that, because Junkers was not happy about having his country run by Nazis, so they eventually took over his factory entirely. So it's not a free market. And Hitler, just by the way, he lost and destroyed everything and lost his country's power and prestige in the end. So National Socialism is a failed experiment, and it wasn't even as strong as communism it's even worse cousin, because we had to fight the Cold War immediately after. But a lot of this goes back to like the Pat Buchanan argument that we shouldn't have fought the Germans, we should have fought the Soviets, and we should have teamed up with Hitler and the Germans as the West against the Soviets. And it relies on a lot of whataboutism and a lot of, like, frankly, Pat Buchanan is not known for his knowledge of economics. And so, yeah, he's a cultural icon, not an economic historian or anything like that. So even the arguments that nationalists, socialists today make about Nazism and Hitlerism bringing Germany back to national greatness all fall apart when you consider that everything is predicated on theft. It was invasion and annexation and expansion and total war. So yeah, if you steal from people, you can get rich in the short term, but sooner or later, the long arm of the law and justice will find you. And it did, so I guess if I'm being fair, if I'm being rational, I will always say that, try and give the other side the benefit of the doubt. If you could say one good thing about Adolf Hitler, it's that at least he killed Hitler. So.
And he was a vegetarian. And he
All
was
right,
nice
Stephanie,
to dogs.
we're not.
He was a vegetarian.
Stop it.
Oh my
He
goodness
did have
gracious!
a little bit of love in his heart for animals.
Tattoos, Totenkopfs, and truth bombs. Justin, why don't we end the show on a lighter note? Do you want to do something?
I would love that. All this Hitler talk is making me
on a lighter
hungry.
note. This seems pretty light to me.
Yes, conspiracies, Hitler, Bohemian Grove, all that kind of
Faggy,
stuff.
faggy.
Bohemian Grove, Richard Nixon quotes.
Oh my gosh. Well, at least Richard Nixon wasn't like Lyndon Johnson walking around the White House with his schlong hanging out all the time. Wasn't that like his big thing? Like,
Well, he
Lyndon
had quite a
Johnson?
big Johnson, huh?
I heard that.
Wow.
Yes.
Is that where the term Johnson came from?
Maybe. He was also a very close talker from what I've seen pictures of him when he gets with people. He gets really up in their face. And
I
it makes
hate
them really
close talkers.
Oh my God.
I need my personal space.
Yeah, close talkers are really gross.
Justin, ballroom for the White House. Your thoughts?
Oh my gosh, Trump construction derangement syndrome. I love it. I mean, everyone's losing their mind about this.
I mean, how many parties a year is he going to have in this ballroom? Is he really going to use it?
I mean, to a certain extent, but I mean, posterity will be allowed to do it. You know who's going to have a lot of parties in that ballroom? The Democrats are when they take back over one day, which they will.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All the people that went to Epstein's Island, they'll all be there.
Exactly. In Bohemian Grove. Oh, Bohemian Grove, Epstein's Island.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be really faggy.
Associate perverse. It'll be faggy.
I just wonder what all these politicians look like dancing nowadays. Have they had formal dance lessons themselves? Like, do they really break it down on the dance floor?
Yeah, I don't know. But Justin, what do you think? From the barnyard to the ballroom, Camellia has an idea that she wants to create a class from the barnyard to the ballroom, where she takes Missourians and she teaches them the kind of skills that you need that are like the classic practical skills, barnyard skills, things that you would need to know how to do, and then sew a button or something, and then also teach them ballroom skills. Take young people, teach them etiquette, teach them how to dine properly. Remember Mom teaching us how to cut a steak with a knife and fork, and then switch the fork back to your right hand.
Yes, but then I learned as I got older when I actually read Emily Post, and I read all these manners books because that's kind of how I roll. I'm like, I want to read about books about manners. But I found out that eating, when you cut your steak, if you have your fork, if your fork is in you don't have to switch hands. So there's two techniques that you can use. You can use a technique where you cut the steak and with the fork, and then you just pick the fork up and you eat with it. But Mom was always about no, you have to change hands. And so you would have to change then over it and it was and then I finally read in one of the manners books that the way that I was wanting to eat it is actually a fine way to eat, meat or something.
So Mom was wrong. No.
Mom was wrong. Well, she wasn't wrong. She just was she was not exclusively right. And I was yeah, because it was it changed my life. It was it's so much easier to eat this way because you just pick it up and you eat it. I'm like,
I don't even think about what hand is in what. As long as I'm able to get the job done, That's all I care about.
What do you think, though, Justin? I mean,
I love
a
it.
return
I love
to
that idea.
etiquette?
You know, because I've just got this brand new book that of course, I can't stop reading. I can never stop reading. But it's about the British classes and in the 20th century and like the history of middle class Britain. And it's fascinating to read because one of the things that really has been so amazing to read has been the part about the middle classes and the working classes of Britain were dedicated to the acquisition of knowledge and understanding and learning things. So you'd have miners who would spend all day in the mines, and then at night they'd come home and they would read voraciously. Some of them would even learn Latin. So they would spend all of this time learning. And some of the staunchest defenders of the canon of literature and the arts and culture were not the elite. It was the working classes that were very much in defense of these things. And of course, you look at the culture we live in now where everyone's being made stupid. You know, and it wasn't always the case. There was a time in culture where people were really advocating for like you're saying, like Camelia is saying, the acquisition of propriety. I mean, even Thomas Jefferson, right? Thomas Jefferson was a lover of music, right? And he thought that the cultural state of American music was in the trash. He hated it. He thought American music was awful. And he believed that in the acquisition of musical skill or musical understanding, that it would make people more refined. It would give them more taste. They would develop a sense of taste. And I think that what Camelia is doing is absolutely awesome because we should instill taste in people and understanding for the finer things of life. And that it doesn't have to be only accessible to a rare, stratified few people, but anybody can enjoy art, anybody can enjoy literature, music, culture, and can walk in the world with good speech and manners at the table. I mean, it's a way to make one's life more, I don't know, refined.
So you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this, or maybe you will believe this. So while you were talking, I was pulling up videos of 8th grade square dance class from high school. Now, this is not Ray Peck here, but I don't know if you did this, Justin. Okay, but these kids are in their high school class. They're doing the circle. They're bowing, curtsying. And we did this in my middle school.
Wow. I wonder if this is just in rural areas.
Rural areas.
Yeah,
we just call it the country, Stephanie.
Yeah,
we just call it
learn how to
country.
do
Okay, but here's the thing. The would you believe it part is that when I pulled up the search for square dancing in high school, what do I find here on YouTube but a video, the surprisingly racist origins of square dancing in gym class.
Oh, boy. Again, rural areas. Yes.
around the track and instead would learn how to
Square dancing. Ah, yes. The racist origins of square dancing by Cracked Magazine and other fine news sources.
Wow. Yeah, when
Anything
did
that's
square
good,
dancing first?
If it's a good thing, then the left will call it racist no matter what.
Yeah.
We definitely need to bring it back now.
Call everything racist until you control it.
Now that I wasn't really, I didn't feel really strongly about the idea of bringing dancing back to schools until I saw that it was racist. And now I feel very strongly that we should bring it back.
What kind of dancing I actually did in my school? I remember when I went to private school, I did do ballet in class.
Oh, you did ballet?
I did ballet.
Oh, okay.
But I do not remember square dancing.
Everything is ballet.
Yeah.
All dancing is ballet. Ballet to me is like the basis of all the fundamental
Yes.
forms. If you learn ballet, then you can do any other kind of dancing for the most part. Once you've learned ballet, and other than like tap, maybe per se. But
I loved the square dancing. I thought it was so much fun. I thought it was a ball. It was a blast.
Did you get graded on it?
Did you want to dance? Did you want to dance with a boy?
No. No.
Yeah, right.
I wasn't
Nowadays-
that faggy.
Nowadays, I'm just curious. In ballroom dancing now, do they allow male partners like in dancing
I
competitions?
don't. You know what? That's why they don't do square dancing anymore in schools, is because they didn't want to have. They didn't want the old country boys didn't want to teach the kids to dance when it's two boys and a chipmunk or whatever it is.
See, that's the thing that makes me really sad about the whole gay thing, because like what it's done is really destroyed men's relationships in terms of like men being able to like just be nice and kind to each other. Now it's always perceived as like being gay.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, God, why did we mess this up so bad?
Yeah.
You know, you look at the intimacy of like the Civil War soldiers and like the men, like the brothers in arms, and it's like how much they loved each other and like they were affectionate with each other. That's a new thing, I think, in American culture.
That we can't have male friendships anymore.
Cannot do it, you know, like you have to qualify it. You have to be like, oh, no homo, dude. Yeah.
You do. You have to qualify it. You have to say no homo.
That's only new. That's
if you're
going to
say something to a guy friend that's emotional, or if you're going to speak to another guy friend about your emotions, which God knows you should never should do, because of the implications of such, then you do have to say no homo. It's important.
I think that's modern. I don't think that's.
It's very modern. Yeah.
I remember in high school we would have it was like Spirit Day, and everybody designed T-shirts, and so the boys. We had a pink T-shirt with a bunny on it, and I remember like it took so much courage for the boys to wear this pink T-shirt in high school because pink was seen as a gay color.
Well, it's funny now too because
it's so silly.
It's a gay color, but it became also a symbol of rebellion for some of us straight guys to wear pink because if you were so confident in your masculinity that you wear pink, pink looks great on guys. If you got a nice.
Purple,
pink. Well, purple is if you're a black guy. That's different. Like, that's part of their culture. It's not a costume, Stephanie. But pink,
Halloween is coming up.
Yeah, purple. I don't think you take any risk by wearing purple. But if you're a straight man, if you got a nice body and you wear a pink polo, then you're basically signaling, I don't give a shit what anybody thinks about me.
Right.
I look good.
It takes bravery to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I think there was a time, I don't think pink was always the purview of women. I think pink was often a men's color, by the way. I don't think women wore pink as a historical fashion trend until the 20th century. I don't think it became a color that women used. But also, I mean, I can still remember, this in the past, 10, 15 years, where men started to wear pink a lot. Like where a guy would wear a dress shirt, like a pink dress shirt and a pink tie. And that became like a real fashion trend for a while, that men were kind of reclaiming the color pink. And
now they're like overdoing it.
I remember as a kid, actually, that there was a moment of hesitation because neon pink was in style. And we had biker shorts. Remember biker shorts, Justin? They still exist, but I mean... biker shorts with like a hot pink flash down the side as a man was considered like straight ombre. You look good. Nowadays you look at something like that and you're wearing like rollerblades and pink spandex tight pants. That's
like in the Barbie movie.
Yes, exactly.
Ryan Gosling was wearing that. Yes.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
Or like the hypercolor shirts, remember, where you would touch them and they would like change colors.
Really?
Who
You had changing color shirts?
Dude, drop a chat. And
I didn't know
Drop
this.
a comment in the chat if you remember hypercolor shirts, where you could walk up to your friends and encourage sexual assault by walking up to your friends.
No.
If your crush, if you'd been looking for a chance to grab those bazongas, then the day she wore the hypercolor shirt was your day.
I had mood rings, but I didn't know about this. That's interesting. Whoa. They should bring those back. That would be fun.
Oh, they were fun.
I think it was just so expensive to make those things that it was. They might still make some. The magic of hypercolor shirts. Okay, let's see if I can pull it up here. I don't know if we've got audio or not. Let's see. Yeah, it's
Introducing the hype. Remember the 90s when fashion was as vibrant as our spirits?
Let's say
Let's take a trip down memory lane. Introducing the hypercolor t-shirt. A marvel of the 90s that changed color with heat. With just a touch or a gust of warm air, these shirts would transform into a burst of color, making every day a bit more exciting. Hypercolor t-shirts were more than just clothing. They were a statement, a conversation starter.
Okay, that's 100% AI.
So they said hypercolor on them? They had hypercolor?
Some would, and then others where it was just the shirt, and then if you put your hand on it, it would make the hand print. So it was
cool.
Really cool. Yeah, we had cool stuff.
Huh. Yeah, UV lights, those were all the craze back then. Like I had a thing where it was like from Nickelodeon where you turn the lights off and you put your hand on something like this hypercolored shirt and you press this flash button and it like creates a big lightning flash and then you could see your handprint on the screen.
I still remember slap bracelets. LW78 says purple does look good on black people. Can personally confirm. Thank you for that. And then Mongoose87 says, if somebody says no homo, you can get a good rise out of them by saying yes, homo. So
Yes, homo.
Oh boy.
All right, so Justin, here's the deal. We're getting towards the end now. Real quick, before we begin our sign-off, I do want to remind people that we're about to switch into full-blown game show mode today on the Wake Up America show. You will be able to play at home. Here's how the game show works. If you made a Rumble Rant donation during the live show, or you made a purchase during the live show, then you need to send a text to the show right now to get your game code so that you can play for a chance to win something from the Grift Shop. 573-319-1586 is the text line. That's 573-319-1586. So if you made a Rumble Rant donation, like I saw Andy just did, or if you were like Quest fanning and you made a purchase at the shop this morning, any amount, even $1 gets you an entry to win to play the game. You're just going to go to crowdparty.app. That's crowdparty.app, and you'll enter in the room code that you get texted back. Brad says he's still waiting on 4 text messages from you guys. So while Justin and Stephanie and I are doing our sign off and getting ready for the game, we got to get you guys signed into the game on your mobile phones or on your laptops, however. But in order for you to get the code, you need to text that phone line, 573-319-1586. Again, text us if you made a donation to the show this morning of any amount, or you made a purchase at the show. You are eligible to play the game. And today we're going to play Guess Moji Phrases. So using emojis, you're going to have to guess the phrase. It's kind of like Wheel of Fortune, but with emojis. So it's going to be fun, and we're going to play it as soon as Justin is done. Make sure you text the show and let us know. Let us know that you're ready to play, and you will get a text message back with the room code. So, all right. So that's how we play the game. We've got.
So I found they have shadow shifter shirts now. They're like these old hypercolor shirts. So they do still have this type of design. You can buy them online. I'm pretty excited. I almost want to be the first person to wear one in the 2020s.
Yeah, there's a lot of nostalgia that's starting to come back from our generation, because when you start to get older, like middle age beyond, that's when you have money to spend on things. And so nostalgia starts to bend towards the generation with money. And so you see a lot less boomer nostalgia these days, not because boomers don't have money, but because people like older millennials and Generation X have the money for the cultural cachet to purchase. Mm-hmm. That's why old Nintendo systems that they revamped and remade, the small ones, were huge hits, the Super Nintendos that they made, because people my age want to live nostalgia and then share with their kids the things that they loved. The 80s were such a funky generation, though, because it was like new technology was new. And so when you watch like the movie Alien or some of these other like old Ridley Scott movies, we thought that it would be green screens forever, that in the future it would all be those terminals. But that was really just our reflection of the technology at the time. And now we know that we were going to have full hypercolor displays and all that kind of stuff. But the future is really difficult to tell, isn't it?
Well, in the 90s were better. I'm sorry, they were.
Yeah,
I've
some
just
really
heard so many
cool
people's-
inventions that people don't really talk about anymore. Bring them back.
Well, and also, I just want to say happy 4-year anniversary to you two, lovebirds.
Thank
you.
Thank
Yay.
you.
It's the year of flowers and fruit, from what I've read.
Well, that's cool.
Flowers and fruit.
It seems like it was yesterday, man. We've just had such a beautiful marriage. Stephanie and I are happy every day. We get to work from home, and it's people like Andy Opperman and Ike Giving It Shits and BB for Liberty and then the whole group of people that are making this happen for us, because honestly, Justin, we're living the dream. People talk about not having the American dream. Stephanie and I, we're with our kid all day long. Mm-hmm. We can take, if we need a half day off for our anniversary, we can do it, and we don't have to beg our bosses. Yeah, we got to sell a lot of coffee or else we're in deep shit.
Not even mom and dad could do that, Austin.
I know.
They couldn't what? Take off a day?
No,
just be home with us all day.
Be home.
Oh, stay home with you all day.
Yeah. So we didn't have that. They didn't have that opportunity, and so we really do lead charmed lives here. And it's thanks to the people who are watching the show right now and who we're just so extremely grateful for your financial contributions. They mean a lot. It may not be a lot for you. You might say, oh yeah, I can afford a box of coffee today, or yeah, I can do a $1 Rumble Rant today. But every little part that every little donation, every little purchase that you make at the shop it makes a big impact on an American family who are trying to keep the flame of liberty alive. So thank you to everyone who funds our mission. Justin, is there anything you want to share or plug before we let you go, brother? We got a good audience.
Just find me on Twitter. My Substack is rocking and popping and locking, and I'm getting, if anybody wants voice lessons, I'm your guy.
There you
Come
go.
take voice lessons. My studio's getting full. I'm
But
actually
they're not
kind of full up to the end of the year. What?
But they're not faggy.
Well, it's a little faggy.
It's a little faggy, actually. Yeah, it's okay. That's
Just
okay.
a little.
We'll allow it.
Just a little.
We'll allow it this once, right?
Just a little.
Just don't
Slight homo.
Just slightly homo. Slightly
Yes.
homo.
Slightly.
Justin, slightly homo. Not no homo. Just little homo.
Homo adjacent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They wouldn't, but they probably wouldn't accept Justin at Bohemian Grove because he is a man of the people, for the people, we the people. Love you, brother.
Love you too. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye. All right, let's go. It's time for the great grift off, Stephanie.
Oh, how fun.
Don't we have fun?
We sure do.
We have a great time on this show. The Wake Up America show has a game show mode that we're about to switch into here live. We have 4 players right now. We're waiting for Siggy's mom or Steelbringer, Joel Ledamore. Have they gone? I guess they didn't text us. I'm going to give you guys a 1-minute break, just a quick little 1-minute break. When we come back, we're going to play the game show. You still got a chance to play with us. If you want an entry, just drop a Rumble Rant for $1 to get in. 573-319-1586. And Brad will text you the code, the room code, so that you can actually play the game with us and win real prizes on the show. Send us a text at 573-319-1586 and you will get your room code. We'll be right back. We're going to play a game show. People are going to win some prizes. We'll be right back on the Wake Up America show's For Liberty Network with the Great Grift Off Live. Liberty Loot Live.
Picture this. It's 1776. Thomas Jefferson is hunched over his desk at Monticello, ink-stained fingers, writing the most radical document in human history. Do you really think he was sipping Starbucks? No. He was drinking something bold, something black, something brewed strong enough to fuel a revolution. That's the spirit behind Founding Flavors, our signature line of liberty-fueled coffee. No soy froth, no climate guilt, no corporate slogans, just real coffee, inspired by the men who wrote freedom into existence. Every cup is a quiet protest. Against mediocrity, against tyranny, against bad coffee. So this morning, skip the globalist brew. Grab something worthy of a free man's sunrise. Founding Flavors. Now brewing at forlibertyshop.com. When the Founding Fathers dreamed of liberty, they forgot one thing: coffee. Introducing Founding Flavors Coffee, the brew that built America, and the brew that's fueling a new revolution, one kitchen at a time. Small batch roasted, Patriot approved, and disappearing faster than a red coat at Yorktown. Don't get left behind, soldier. Real patriots are starting their mornings with Founding Flavors. And trust us, freedom tastes better with a fresh cup in your hand. Stop drinking those tyrant brews who take your money and don't support your values. Stocks are limited, demand is booming, and your morning deserves a taste of liberty. Order now at forlibertyshop.com before the next shipment gets signed, sealed, and sold out. Founding Flavors Coffee, the official brew of morning rebellions everywhere. Get yours at forlibertyshop.com.
All right, it's the Great Grift Off. Let's get it started. 1 of 12 rounds starting now. Stephanie and hanging out with us on Freedom Family Friday. We love to end the show with the Great Grift Off Live. It's a Liberty Loot show where you will win real prizes today. People are playing at home on their phones. You can watch right now as we go through. We're playing Guess Emoji game where people look at emojis and guess the phrase. Stephanie, can you guess? Don't say it out loud now. But you have to guess the phrase. What you see right now on the screen, guess the phrase
this is hard.
from those emojis. Everybody's getting to guess it on their phones. And the number one winner will win real prizes.
I don't think anyone got this yet.
From the show. Once in a blue moon. There you go.
I I got
Colin came in at number 1 there. Andy Opperman at 2. Quest 0. St. Selma 4. We've got 4 players. Interesting. We got 3 emojis
wow,
there.
is this set to like really hard?
No, this is just the game. It's just some people are going to be better at certain games than others, but this is an example.
Oh, I know this one.
Okay, you know this one. Okay.
Very interesting. These are good games for the brain.
Yeah, they're good brain games.
Keep you focused and mentally alert.
Mm-hmm. Let's see how they do. Let's turn on the music. Colin number 1, Andy number 2.
Quest and St. Selma are either non-responsive or unable to unable to do it. Cut it out. No, that's not what it is. Huh. Interesting. Okay, I know the first word. I'm glad Hazel slept this entire time.
She did good.
She always makes mommy and daddy happy.
I know.
Cutting corners. Oh, St. Selma and Quest now are
see, now they're
in the running here. Oh, you received a gift.
Will you accept it?
You just received a gift. Will you accept it?
You just received a gift. Will you accept it?
Ooh, garlic, 50 points lost.
Colin is smart.
Yes, emoji.
I wonder who Colin is. I don't know Colin.
I'm
Hello,
not sure.
Colin.
Hi, Colin. Don't say it out loud if you know it.
Heart? Nope. Oh, I know what this one is.
Laissez-faire. That's Colin. That's right.
Oh, laissez-faire bra.
Laissez-faire
He
bra.
comes to Freedom Arcade.
I know. I hope we see him tonight.
We see him in the chat there.
Round
Remember,
5 of
8
12.
p.m. Freedom Arcade tonight, 8 p.m. Central
Yes,
Time.
Exactly.
Whoa, that's a lot of emojis. My goodness.
Got 40 seconds.
Ha. Oh, I know this one. Yep. They're all older phrases.
Good. We got older people on our show.
So everybody, I made pineapple upside down cake for Austin last week using our, well, actually not using this pineapple. I bought a can of pineapple, but yeah. So
yes,
this weekend make some pineapple upside down cake with pineapple.
Good idea. Next phrase, we're on round 7 and 12. Remember, the winner of the game will win a prize from the gift shop, but everybody's going to get something.
Huh, I didn't know that it has directions on how to cut a pineapple on here. That's funny. I looked them up online.
There's a few different ways.
Yes. I just cut the head off and I cut the bottom off and then I slice around the skin.
Is that how you did it?
Uh-huh.
How did you remove the center part of the pineapple?
I just what did I do? So I cut around the skin. I think I just felt that it was hard and I just kind of cut the pieces around it.
Yeah, there's like ways to remove the pineapple core.
I mean, I'm sure there's some very
Colin's coming on strong on this one today. Looks like he wants to take home a prize.
Huh. What is that? Whoa, I can't say it. I just realized what it is.
Don't say what it is. They're playing for real prizes here right now.
I was like, is that a dog? What is that?
Colin, Andy, and St. Selma. First, second, and third. 9 of 12.
this is hard. What in the world? I don't know. This is hard. Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure.
5 seconds.
Okay, I see now. Cost an arm and a leg. I gotcha. Colin, wow, Colin is just defeating.
Traffic lights. This is when somebody can come back if they're not doing
Test your
a stall.
reactions as you wait for the green light before tapping.
Wait for the green light, then tap as fast as you can.
Wow, Colin came in first again. Colin, you're a very sharp individual.
Ding, 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 ding.
I love how Andy Opperman is a woman with yellow hair.
Colin, feeling strong. Andy's still got a shot, though. We got 2 more rounds.
Guess emoji.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
I don't know what it is. Huh.
Oh, this is hard, man.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. Colin, for some reason, is just like massacring.
I'm sure you could put the emojis into ChatGPT technically, and then I could tell you. But in the time that ChatGPT would tell you what it is, it wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think it would help you necessarily.
I see what it is.
Leave no stone unturned.
Okay.
Oh, that was good. All right, this is it. Last round.
Guess emoji.
Not sure.
30 seconds. It's Totenkopf, a Democratic politician. And his tattoo.
I know, right? A Nazi.
A Nazi doornail. A Nazi doornail. Let's see. Says who's gonna walk away a winner today? As dead as a doornail.
Oh.
Looks like the winner is Colin. Congratulations.
Oh, and St. Selma came up there in the end.
Nicely
Wow.
done. Way to go. So what do we have for him, Johnny? Make sure, Brad, I'm sure he's listening right now. He's going to send Colin a code for the shop. So he's going to win a nice prize from the shop today. Colin, your pick. Do you want the brand new, you'd be the first one to get it, Department of Revolution George Washington baseball shirt? You can have our brand new George Washington baseball shirt from the shop. Or we've got the new line, ATF Sucks, which I know you're a fan. ATF Sucks mugs or shirts. We've got a nice little ATF Sucks sketch t-shirt. Take your pick, bud. Either one. Just send a text to Brad, and Brad will send you back a coupon so that you can get a free one in the shop. You win. And thanks so much for all you guys do. We appreciate you, and we'll see you tonight at 8 p.m. Central, right here at rumble.com/AP for Liberty. Members only stream. So if you guys have the little red castle next to your name, then you're going to be able to join us tonight at the Freedom Arcade show at 8 p.m. Central Time. So if you don't, then buy a monthly sub, guys, on the channel, and you will be able to do the members only content. If you want to play, we're going to play games like that tonight for fun, not for prizes, but just because we like to hang out. And you can be on the Discord server with us and be on the show too. So join us tonight, 8 p.m. Central, Freedom Arcade, right here where you're at. We'll play games. We'll have some fun. We'll get ready for the weekend. We'll party. We'll laugh. We'll cry. We'll all just joke around. All right, 8 p.m.
That's right. We're going to have a Bohemian Grove group tonight.
Bohemian Grove
8
tonight,
p.m.
yes, and a sacrifice to an owl god. So we'll see you tonight at 8 p.m. Central tonight, guys. Have a great time and enjoy your days.
Be free.
Justice Department is bringing charges against more than 30 people in 2 different, but possibly related alleged criminal schemes involving the mafia, sports betting on the NBA, and rigged poker games. The most notable arrests include Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier. Critics of legalized sports betting have been quick to dunk on the NBA for getting involved with sports betting. But legalized sports books and their cooperation with the NBA and law enforcement are likely a big reason the scheme was uncovered at all. The sports betting scheme allegedly involved Rozier and a complex web of former players getting insider information about certain players and using straw bettors to place bets at casinos and online sports books on those players hitting the unders on their player prop bets. FBI Director Kash Patel called it the insider trading saga for the NBA at a Thursday morning press conference. Sometimes these bets involved a person informing the network if a player was going to sit out or enter a game and leave early after faking or exaggerating an injury. For example, in March 2023, Rozier allegedly took himself out of a game after 10 minutes played so that his co-conspirators could cash in. The alleged poker game scheme seems to have involved Billups to help to give the poker games the appearance of legitimacy. The poker players would sometimes lose hundreds of thousands of dollars a night in a game that had been rigged by high-tech cheating methods involving X-ray tables, special glasses, and manipulated card shuffling machines. Authorities said the NBA cooperated in the investigation and that these schemes did not involve college basketball. They added that the investigation is ongoing and that there is always that possibility that more NBA players are arrested. Rozier and Billups are on immediate leave from their teams. Not charged in Thursday's indictments were Malik Beasley or Jonte Porter. Beasley was previously investigated, but not charged, in a federal gambling probe that may be connected to Thursday's announcement. He still could be charged as investigations continue. Porter was charged in 2024 with a felony for alleged conduct similar to what is alleged in the Rozier-related charges. He was subsequently given a lifetime ban from the NBA. It's important to remember, of course, that Billups, Rozier, and the others charged in the cases are innocent until proven guilty and deserve their day in court. Rozier's lawyer has already given a statement to Pablo Torres Finds Out saying, "They appear to be taking the word of spectacularly incredible sources rather than relying on actual evidence of wrongdoing." Terry was cleared by the NBA and these prosecutors revived that non-case. Terry is not a gambler, but he is not afraid of a fight, and he looks forward to winning this fight. In general, the feds often overcharge in hopes of intimidating defendants into plea deals. Reverend Paul Tonko, DNY, wrote on X that the alleged crimes were an inevitable consequence of the unchecked explosion of the sports betting industry. As the New York Times noted, Tonko supports federal legislation that would limit sports betting ads and implement affordability checks for bettors, neither of which would have done anything to stop the alleged conspiracies. Though don't be surprised if the NBA-related scheme is used as a reason to limit player prop bets, as NBA Commissioner Adam Silver asked for earlier this week. The NBA is very concerned about the multiple arrests made as a result of the FBI's sports gambling code. But, if anything, all this taking place with legalized sportsbooks has helped uncover the alleged schemes. The sportsbooks themselves are victims in this case, Joseph Nocella, U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, said at Thursday's press conference. They themselves, as far as our investigation has concluded, did not perpetrate anything unlawful. He did not name which sportsbooks were involved. For example, in the March 2023 game, Rozier left the game early with an injury after playing for only 10 minutes. That same game had a suspicious amount of betting activity on the unders for Rozier's player prop bets, with Rozier's co-defendants allegedly betting a combined $200,000. Had that betting activity been placed with illegal bookies or offshore sports books, it probably would have gone unnoticed. But when sports betting is legal, sports books won't be afraid to flag suspicious activity like this to sports leagues and law enforcement. Likewise, if people had a place to play high-stakes poker in Manhattan, they wouldn't need to go through the mafia to do it. It does feel like the NBA, in conjunction with sports books, should be able to uncover these incidents sooner. But as sports lawyer Michael McCann pointed out at Sportico, law enforcement has a lot more power than the NBA. As a private entity, the NBA cannot issue subpoenas to demand evidence, including texts and other records, or compel sworn testimony. While the NBA has contractual authority over players, coaches, and referees, it cannot require witnesses, including bookies and players' associates, to cooperate in an investigation. Perhaps most important, the NBA can't scare witnesses into cooperating. If the allegations brought by the Justice Department on Thursday are true, then it's sad that the integrity of the NBA was compromised. But the answer is not to push sports betting back into the shadows of bookies and offshore bets. It's to keep sports betting in the light so that perpetrators can be brought to justice. Tim Donaghy, remember, got away with betting on games that he officiated for years, more than a decade before widespread legalized sports betting. The allegation should not affect the legality of bets placed by an average Joe who's just sitting on his couch, blowing $5 on a parlay with his friends. As Patel said, if you're participating in the legal gambling industry, you got nothing to worry about.